In again for our second solar eclipse Q&A live, YouTube live. We want to appreciate you for joining us in. Of course, we have meteorologist Kaylee Bowers with us, joining us again.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. 4 weeks.
4 weeks, and the countdown is to 28 days, less than a month now, and we are slowly getting closer to that total solar eclipse coming up. So a lot of things to come up for us as we go throughout the next couple of weeks, and we'll be doing this, just a reminder, pretty much every Monday. And just to give you a heads up, next week will also be at 3:30. So we'll be switching those times a bit from at least each week leading up to that solar eclipse, but that will be every Monday to answer any questions you may have for the solar eclipse coming up.
Yeah, you can always message us. You can email us, Facebook, Twitter, X, Insta, and send your questions any way you have. And we're also live on YouTube right now, so you can ask your questions there directly as well. So we're just here to help you out and answer any questions that you guys have. So we're super excited. Yep. 4 weeks.
Yep, we are getting closer and closer. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, Vip, but you're probably wondering, maybe need a little bit of a refresher, or maybe just a breakdown of what exactly the total solar eclipse is. So what is the total solar eclipse? So it's when the sun and the moon line up to pretty much create a shadow on that Earth. And what we call that shadow is the penumbra. That is umbra, my apologies for that, and that creates a shadow on the Earth. But also people that may not necessarily be in that shadow still will like to see that partial solar eclipse, which is the penumbra. So either way you look at it, most throughout the United States, you'll see some sort of form of the solar eclipse, but people in the umbra may necessarily only see that complete solar eclipse. But hey, what exactly, Kaylee, is that middle part? What of the line that, thankfully, some of us will see?
That path of totality, and that will run through our area, Northwest Ohio, even a little bit into Southeast Michigan for some of us, but this stretches all the way down into Texas, parts of the Mid-South, the Midwest, and even into Canada and the Northeast. So millions of people will be impacted, but just a small handful of those millions of people will be right in that line of that path of totality. So it's something a lot of folks will be saying it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, and it truly definitely is going to be once in a lifetime opportunity. And yeah, just as she said, the path of totality, and thankfully for us, we are in that path of totality, including the Toledo Metro, and pretty much most of our DMA will be in that path of totality. Sadly, of course, Michigan, Southeast Michigan, you are not in the path of 100% totality. Just missed it, but hey, you'll still see that partial eclipse, even if you do want to travel at least to Northwest Ohio to see that. You definitely are a short drive away from seeing that, at least. Yeah,
so just shouting out a few of our areas. Again, Toledo, BG, Defiance, Ottawa, Van Wert, Lima, Findlay, Tiffin, Fremont, Upper Sandusky, Norwalk, Sandusky, all the way over towards Cleveland. Shout out to my hometown of Marion. They are also in the path of totality as well. And this will stretch even down into Central Ohio and Southwest Ohio. So if you're down towards Dayton, Cincinnati, if you have loved ones down there, you can also go down there and come up to us here in Northwest Ohio as well. So quite a few places in Ohio, from Northeast Ohio, Central Ohio, and Southwest Ohio in this path of totality. So a lot of people impacted by it.
Yeah, and it certainly is. And we're talking about also the Toledo Metro as well. Some of those places, of course, we have Toledo as a whole, and also those suburbs like Oregon. You're in that path of totality. We're talking Perrysburg, Springfield, White House. But one place or one town that isn't necessarily, and we'll be talking about this in just a bit, is Sylvania. Yeah, we'll be talking about that in just a bit. We did get a question, and also send your questions in right now. If you do have any questions, we'll be answering a few basic questions that we've received over the last week or so. But yeah, definitely send your questions in if you do in fact have any questions at all that you may want us to answer as we, do this solar eclipse. So yeah, we'll try to get those comments activated for us as we go throughout at least the next couple of minutes. But yeah, for us, right now, the solar eclipse, what exactly is it going to look like? So this is a picture that we got from Aubrey for the last eclipse, and so this will be the sun's corona. This is how it will look in that path of totality, where we see 100% eclipse. Some areas, which is that partial solar eclipse, will only see that say 80%, 70%, even 60% of eclipse. But that path of totality is going to be 100% eclipse for us as we go throughout April 8th, that is. So going to be complete darkness out there for us as we go throughout April 8th. So that sun's corona, that's where you see that line, or at least the brightness behind the moon. And it's going to be 10 million times less dense than you would typically see. So with the corona, like I said, it'll be a bit of some streamers and plumes. So it's hotter than the sun. So that will essentially be at least look completely dark outside. And like I said, we do have a few questions that we'll be answering in just a bit about how that would exactly look. So yeah, we can definitely get to our first question for you. And as we pull it up, one of the few questions that we did in fact get is, here we are for you. Why are schools closing for the eclipse? So there is, of course, a number of reasons why some of those schools are closing. This is going to be pretty much a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for people to, welcome back, Kaylee.
Hi. Technical difficulties behind the scenes.
Well, we got it. But yeah, this is why are schools kind of closing for the eclipse. So this is going to be once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So and some people may want to see that, you know, that 100% total eclipse or eclipse for us. So could be a bit busy outside for some areas. So that's probably a good chance why a lot of schools are possibly closing.
And also think of the safety factor too.
Yes, exactly.
You want to have the kids either with their families or at the schools, because around the time the eclipse happens, it's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:15. So a lot of schools will be letting out at that time or just letting out. So it's just a good idea to go ahead and close. And along with that traffic, you have school traffic on top of that, and it could just be a complete nightmare. So very smart on the schools who have already called to cancel. Very good idea.
Yeah, exactly. And we're talking to many people seeing the solar eclipse for us. And just pretty much the estimated visitors could likely double or even triple. So a lot of these towns that are in the path of totality, where they could see over 3 minutes and 30 seconds of totality, that's where we could likely see triple, double the visitors in these areas, simply because we are in a path of totality, or most of our area is in the path with that totality.
And let's just go back on this beginning of the graphic real quick. I'm going to do a little rewind here. We were talking about all the different states that are impacted. So you have Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, a little bit of Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. Again, very little bit in Michigan, parts of Pennsylvania, New York, parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and even into Maine. So a good portion of the country impacted from this. But again, zooming back into the state of Ohio, it's a good chunk of the region, or the good chunk of the state as well, stretching from, again, Cincinnati, Dayton, to our area, Cleveland, over towards Akron. So millions of people, like Matt said, the population could double, triple, maybe even quadruple in some places.
Wow. That's truly going to be astonishing to see that.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. So our next question for you, and I think we do have a question in the comments that we'll get to in just a sec. So next question is, how do we put the glasses on properly? So one of the things we want to make sure you understand is never look directly at the sun without the proper eye protection. So make sure you have those proper eyeglasses. And I know Kaylee mentioned this last week. No 3D glasses, no welding masks, no sunglasses.
Yeah.
You want those. I have the number for you. ISO 12312-2 certified glasses for you. And you can find those also on NASA, and they have a recommended vendors where you can buy those glasses at as you go for the solar eclipse. So you can still buy those glasses, still a month out, and those should likely come in time for the solar eclipse.
Yeah, and again, look at that number. Can you say that number one more time, Matt?
Yeah.
It's a tongue twister.
It is a tongue twister. So you want to make sure this usually is kind of on the inside of the glasses, kind of where at least the lens is, and it's ISO-12312-2. So that is, in fact, the certification that you want those glasses for. So you make sure also you don't want any rips, tears, streaks in those glasses. As you put them on, you want to make sure they're firm and tight, not too loose to where you may see through those glasses. So make sure you do in fact protect your eyes, and that's one of the most important things we want to stress as we go towards the solar eclipse.
It's very important. We have this really cool graphic right here. Again, you want to have your glasses on when the eclipse is happening beforehand and afterhand, but when we're fully in the path of totality, when the moon is directly in front of the sun, that's when you can take your glasses off. And again, this just depends on the timing. So this could be 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, depending on where you are. But that's when it's actually safe to take your glasses off and look directly at the sun. Well, don't look at the sun. Look at look at the moon in front of the sun. Look at the actual eclipse.
Yeah, that is definitely good advice. Of course, it's gonna be maybe a little hard to tell when it's not totally eclipsed, but
yeah,
honestly, just keep those glasses on if you do feel a little bit of hurting in those eyes as well.
Better be safe than sorry.
Exactly.
And of course, along with that, whether it's cloudy or not cloudy, we're going to touch base on this a little bit later, it's going to be dark regardless. If we see clouds, it's still going to be cloud, or it's still going to be dark. But if we don't see any clouds that day, it's going to get dark very quickly. Just going to go from day to night like that. And we're going to see a drop in temperature as well. So honestly, not a bad idea to have a jacket with you for that day as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll definitely try to break down and see as it's time to get closer.
Yeah.
We'll be able to tell what kind of weather we'll be getting on day. I think you said
we do have one.
Question.
Well, it's not a question, but someone goes. It's been reported people are renting out hotels in Ohio.
Yes. Yeah. They definitely are. Hotels are filling up. So I would definitely, if you are planning on getting a hotel in the area of the Path of Totality, I would say do that sooner than later, because hotels are in fact filling up. I know I did a story about a couple of weeks ago, even about RVs. A lot of people are starting to rent RVs as well. So hotels are in fact starting to fill up as we get closer to the solar eclipse.
And I talked to some folks from the Metro Parks last week, and they said that they still have some room. So definitely check out the Toledo Metro Parks if you still are looking for a place to stay. Shout out to the awesome folks there. But yeah, it's going to be, again, a once in a lifetime event. If you don't have a place to stay, maybe if you have loved ones anywhere in that Path of Totality, also not a bad idea to just check in with them as well.
Yeah. So definitely going to be a lot of people within this Path of Totality. So like I said, make sure you just give yourself some extra time.
Yeah.
So our next question is it going to be totally dark during the full totality? So short answer is yes, it is. And that's if we do get at least a sunny day.
If it's like what we're seeing today, it's going to go from bright blue skies to darkness in a matter of minutes. It's going to be a really cool phenomenon.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to rewind this a little bit. So if it is a day like today where, sunny blue skies, it will appear nice and bright right around, I'd say 1:56. But as soon as it is max eclipse, you're going to see those skies turn to blue to completely dark as we at least go throughout. So here it is for you. Once it is totally 100% eclipse, it'll get a little bit darker, and eventually that will turn into the eclipse moving on, and the eclipse ends right at 4:26. So
I bet a lot of folks will be confused too. Just like the animals are, the animals will be confused.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking, if I see the sun, okay, it's getting dark. All right, it's time for bed. Oh, it's 3:13 in the afternoon. I still have half of my day, and the sun is back. So I bet a lot of us are going to be very, what just happened? Is it time to go to bed? Especially after having daylight saving time yesterday.
Oh man, yeah.
We're just all kinds of confused right now.
Exactly. So yeah, it is definitely going to be an interesting sight, I'd say, to see it be. I mean, the street lights may even come on. Street lights.
You may hear crickets. You may hear some of the raccoons and nocturnal animals come out as well. Owls. It's going to be very interesting.
Yes, it is. All right, so next question that we did get, I was wondering if you could give us a start to end time for the full eclipse in Putnam County, and that's from Sharon. Thank you, Sharon, for that question. We do have a list for you as we kind of look at this from start to finish, max eclipse, total totality, and time in totality. So we do have Putnam County, we do have Ottawa on here. So that'll be starting up right around 3:10 p.m. And then eventually max eclipse will be right around 3:12, and eventually totality will end right around 3:13 of a total time of 3 minutes and 27 seconds.
And the big place to be, I've heard a lot of people say they're going down to Forest, Ohio, which will be seeing almost 4 minutes in that Path of Totality. You can see about 3 minutes and 56 seconds. So these are just a couple of places that we do have listed, and we have the entire list on our website. And in fact, one gentleman, I believe, said, when did the eclipse start in a certain part in Rising Sun, Ohio? Again, we have all these lists on our website as well. So if we don't mention your town today, you can go to our website, or also you can continue asking more questions and we can get more specific next week as well.
Any more questions?
When was the last time we had a full eclipse? Ooh, it's been a while. It's been a while. Let's see.
Let's see if we can pull that up for you.
I think we have a graphic somewhere.
Yes. Let's see if we can pull that up for you shortly. Yeah, we definitely do have that for you.
So the exact date in 2017, it was August. No, yeah, it was in August.
So we did see that one in 2017.
But that wasn't here in Ohio.
Yep, got the graphic for you right here, actually. So that last time we did see that last eclipse was in 1806 in Ohio.
In Ohio, yes.
Yes. And the next one will be in 2099. So you may have to do a little bit of time traveling as well. So we do have a little bit some more dates as well. Or at least more cities that will be in that totality in time. You know, we got 2 minutes and 6 seconds for Mommy. This is throughout the Toledo Metro. In some of those times, most areas throughout the Toledo Metro will see anywhere near 2 minutes or right under 3 minutes. And some of those more cities that we just showed, the max one being Forest, Ohio, Findlay at 3 minutes and 44 seconds. So let's go to our next question. You
next question, sure way. Why not? What are the chances of it being cloudy on the day of the eclipse? So again, this is still about a month out, but we're slowly getting some data, getting some information into our weather center. And right now it's still too soon to determine clouds versus sunshine versus rain versus snow versus hot or cold temperatures. But based on some climate data we've dug up already, I don't want to finish that sentence.
Yeah.
The chances of it being cloudy in Ohio it's a good chance.
It's a good chance.
It's a good chance.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, as I've only been here for 2 years, but as you know, March and April tend to get a little dicey when it comes to those cloudy days. And we know, of course, living in Ohio, in March and April, we do get those cloudy days. But we are hoping for a nice sunny day. And we'll be able to tell you that as it gets closer and closer. We're about 28 days out. So we'll be able to tell you and accurately pinpoint what exactly that day will be like as time gets closer, at least.
We're hoping and praying it's going to be like today. We're seeing lots of sunshine, temperatures slightly cooler in the 50s, but we're hoping just like you guys are. It's going to be sunny and nice, but the odds, just looking back at Ohio's weather data, not the best.
Not the best.
Not the best, but
we're going to stay positive.
Exactly. We're going to send sunny thoughts our way.
That's perfect.
So how can I see if my glasses are safe for use? Again, we just talked about this a moment ago. Matt, can you read off that ISO number again, please?
Yes, I can read out. Yeah, and this is the certification that is recommended for these glasses. So that certification, I'm going to read it out slowly because it's a bit of a long run.
We'll have a graphic for you guys next week.
Yes. So that is ISO-1212
You forgot a number.
I did?
To 3.
Let me read this off again.
Restart.
So it is ISO-12312-2.
So think 12312-2.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that's usually in the inside. So if you put those glasses on, they'll usually be in the inside on those frames.
We'll show them on your glasses.
So yeah, I can show you. I don't have it on these glasses.
Yeah.
But so usually that would be, I can't see with my glasses, but yeah, usually that will be in the inside of those for you as we go throughout. So of course it will be solely Eclipse glasses, but they'll be in the inside. I may have some glasses with us today. So
there we go.
May be able to grab those one sec.
There we go.
And see if we can show you real quick which ones.
So yeah, definitely a good idea to make sure you're checking that when you're ordering your glasses and make sure you're getting them from a reliable source as well. So again, you have 28 days to get prepared and have those glasses ready to go. And we mentioned this a little bit earlier. No sunglasses, no 3D glasses, no welding mask. And even if you just have a ball cap on, that's not going to protect you from the sun with your eyes. Did you find some?
Yes.
Oh, we found some. There we go.
So I did find some glasses. So yeah, I did get these checks as well. So I can zoom in a little bit. Whoop, can't see it. But usually this says that ISO, there you go, ISO certified. So that's one thing you want to look for this. I think I had the same thing on these. They have that ISO in the corner. So let's see.
There you go.
Yep. There you go, ISO. So you want to make sure those, if you do have eclipse glasses, that they have at least that in them. So yeah.
But you see why I said last week, like not 3D glasses, because they do look like 3D glasses. It's just you don't have a red and a blue filter. So again, just a heads up. What's the biggest impact of the total solar eclipse?
Ooh,
that's a good question, Norman. So obviously the biggest impact is it goes from light to dark. But then some other things, it can impact travel, it can impact obviously your circadian rhythm, it can impact your pets, your animals. I mean, a lot of
multiple
folks,
impacts.
Yeah, there's a lot, and we've kind of been going into detail about all of that. We're going to continue to talk about this throughout the next 4 weeks. So just expect the worst, but hope for the best. And we're really not trying to hype things up and scare you guys either. Just there will be a lot of people in a small area.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's our next question?
All right, let's see. So what about Sylvania? From what I've seen, it doesn't look like we are in the path of totality. So
Poor Sylvania.
should we
Let's show Sylvania.
break it down for them? And we can zoom in even more on this. So Sylvania, you will see some sort of the eclipse. Will it be in totality? Not necessarily, but you are just missing that by, I mean,
It's just like Bedford Township.
Yeah.
You're going to be right on the line, but you're not going to
see that.
So the best bet would go down towards Ottawa Hills, go towards UT's campus, Toledo Metro. But if you're west of Sylvania, over towards, is that Berkeley?
Yeah. Metamora, Assumption.
All of these areas west over towards the Ohio, Indiana, Michigan border, you're not going to be in it. So Sylvania, sorry. Just go right down the highway.
Yeah,
Go right
down. I promise a short drive down to anywhere Toledo Metro, Perrysburg, Oregon.
Yeah.
And you will be right in that path of totality.
Go right down 23. Right down 23. Yep. So next thing we're looking at, again, it's the path of the totality. And we kind of show this graphic a lot. Again, it goes from Mexico into parts of Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, let's just kind of play and show you. It goes along the Mississippi River, along the Ohio River, eventually into parts of the Great Lakes. And I mean, a good portion of Ohio, seeing it from Cincinnati, Dayton, close to Fort Wayne, but Fort Wayne isn't in it. Part of Franklin County, the Columbus area, will see it.
Cleveland,
Erie, Pennsylvania. If you have friends in Pittsburgh, they're not going to see it. So Ohio's going to be a big place for a lot of folks to come in 4 weeks.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, we even got the Lake Erie Islands in this. I know that's always a big destination, starts to be a big destination during the summer months. So Lake Erie Islands, you are definitely in that. So I think that'd be pretty insane to see that from Put-in Bay.
I bet a lot of folks will be going to Put-in Bay, going to Catawba, going to Lakeside. I mean, there's so many different places along the lake. I know a lot of campgrounds are opening up for this eclipse. I know quite a few places will be gearing up and getting ready for an earlier season than what they normally see for their season.
Yep. All right. But yeah, so that is pretty much one thing we do want to remind you of, at least throughout the Toledo Metro. Of course, we're going to see that eclipse. But one thing we do want to remind you of is never look directly at the sun. That's one of the biggest things we're going to stress with this solar eclipse is make sure you have that protective layer for you as we go closer to this solar eclipse. And just make sure you can find those glasses at a bunch of areas, whether you want to drive to some areas, just make sure that it's ISO certified. I'm going to read this off one more time. It is ISO-12312-2, and that is the certification you want to look for those certified ISO glasses. So yeah, do make sure you do protect those eyes as we head closer to solar eclipse.
That's a big thing.
Yep.
28 days.
28 days. We're counting
so
down.
Excited.
And we will see you next Monday again as we go. At least that'll be at 3:30. So we'll see you next Monday again for Eclipse Q&A.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. We're getting closer. Thank y'all for joining us. Bye.